Welcome into the Michigan Football Report. It is signing day eve. It's like Christmas Eve. It's like New Year's Eve. It's like the day before your 21st birthday, the day before you spent an evening with a lady for the first time. All of that built into one. I'm getting the shake off from the producer. I'm trying to think of something that's exciting. I'm excited because, like last year, where Michigan had a pretty explosive signing day, Xavier Worthy ultimately asked for his letter out of his letter of intent, and then Donovan Edwards both committed to Michigan on signing day. Michigan kept all their guys. Well, I think they lost one or two guys, but had a really great signing day last year. I expect the same from this signing day tomorrow. But I want to take you through some news and rumors around this signing day, what I'm expecting tomorrow from a commitment perspective, and some news and rumors on transfers and NFL early enrollees. But let's get the show started with our favorite thing to do. It is this. It's been rolling all season, and I'm a kind of guy, if something's working, don't jinx it, right? Like let's not mess around here. I am excited for Michigan's recruiting class tomorrow. I think you could have as many as 5, maybe even 6 4-star recruits drop for Michigan, sign that are currently not committed to the program. So just like I'm keeping this mustache. You think I want this mustache? I mean, look, the ladies love it, but I shaved. I put the mustache after Michigan State, and Michigan hasn't lost since. Been playing the best football in America since then. And we've been doing the don't jinx it. Worked for Wisconsin, Nebraska, Penn State, and Ohio State. I think it's 4. I think I kind of did it for Michigan State. We're not going to count that one. So let's do it for this one. You want big-time commits tomorrow. Like this video. Don't jinx it. Don't be sitting there with a guy commits somewhere else tomorrow and be like, Yoder told me. It doesn't hurt anything. And, just good karma to put out there in the world. All right, a few moments here coming up in the show. I've got some updates on some big-time recruits, some guys I think are going to announce for Michigan tomorrow. There's 2 or 3 prospects that have announced signing times. A couple other guys are still uncertain, but we'll keep updated throughout all day on Wednesday with what is going on around this recruiting class. So stick with us. We'll talk all of the signing day decisions coming up here in a moment. But I did want to address this to start the show. Hassan Haskins is going to turn pro. He will not be back with Michigan for 2022 or, crazy enough, 2023 because of the 2020 COVID year. He did have 2 years of eligibility. He has accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl. His 2021 stats are very, very impressive. Those 20 touchdowns are a Michigan football single-season record, and he's got a backup in Blake Corum who has just under 1,000 yards himself. So even with splitting time, Hassan Haskins, 1,300 yards. Hell, if Michigan makes the national title game, he could potentially get up there 1,500, 1,600 yards, depends on what he does in those games. But I'll say this about Hassan Haskins, folks. He is an all-time Michigan legend. What he did in the Michigan State game alone, remarkable. But being the leader of this team with Aidan Hutchinson, obviously with Caden McNamara and some other guys, Josh Ross, Reddy Bell even, right? Didn't really play much after, obviously got hurt in that first game, but he's an all-time Michigan legend. I'll never forget what he did in that game against Ohio State, one of the great all-time performances, and really just down the stretch. Every time you need a big play, Hassan Haskins was the guy for Michigan. So a little walk down memory lane for you. Hassan Haskins is the best Michigan running back since, I feel like it's got to be Mike Hart, right? We're talking about 14 years. Hart, 2004, 5, 6, and the 2007 season. Michigan's all-time leading rusher, started as a true freshman. Like Haskins could have been one of those guys too, a 3 or 4 year starter, but came in on the defensive side of the ball, switched to offense in 2019 running back. Had some really great games. 2020, he got kind of lost in the fray. Michigan trying to shuffle in 4 running backs at a time, Chris Evans, Zach Charbonnet, etc. But he really got his due this year, even splitting time. He made himself an all-time Michigan legend. 3rd team AP All-American. So answer the questions. Hassan Haskins is Michigan's best running back since. I'm going to go with Mike Hart. Coming up tomorrow, Wednesday, December 15th, it is National Signing Day, and thanks to you guys, give me those 25 subscribers. We needed to do a live show. Got the production staff said, 25 subscribers, not doing it. So we'll be live 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Join us. Subscribe to the channel so you get an alert when we go live tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern. We'll be live, and then we'll do 2 announcements. At least, who's it? Derrick Moore, I think, right? Let me make sure I got these names. Derrick Moore and then Darrius Clemons, right? We'll be announcing in the first 30 or so minutes of the show, as long as they don't have drag it out or anything like that. And then we'll break down Michigan's entire recruiting class, everything that happened, and do 1, maybe 2 live Q&A. So if you want to ask me questions on recruiting, but even about the 2021 Michigan football team, the bowl game versus Georgia, etc., let me know in the comments tomorrow live on our YouTube Signing Day Spectacular. All right, Cavante Henry, he is a highly rated recruit for Michigan, and he has been getting a lot of love from West Coast schools, most notably Washington, right? Courtney Morgan was close to him. He's one of the reasons him being a West Coast player himself, Morgan having a relationship with him. Morgan took the job, or lateral move, with Washington as their director of player personnel, and Cavante Henry took Michigan commitment. Cavante Henry took a visit to Washington this past weekend. And now he tweeted out today that he is, not going to sign until February. And I'll say this, he's signing in February, and we've seen this in the past. The last three, I think it's the fourth year of the early signing period, 18, 19, 20, now 22. I believe that's right. Every year, 1, 2, 3 guys does the old, I'm going to sign in February. I'm going to sign with my teammates in February. That one never really made any sense to me. And so I've got this, I guess it's their philosophy here at the Michigan Football Report. It is, if you are not signing, if you're committed and you're not signing in December, you're just not signing with Michigan. It's tried and true. I think it's like 8 for 8, maybe 8 for 9. There might have been one guy who eventually signed, but not anything that I would hang my hat on. That would be the exception to the rule. The rule is if you don't sign on signing day, if you're committed to Michigan, you will ultimately end up somewhere else. Expect him to be at Washington, or maybe USC, UCLA could make a late run, especially USC with new head coach Lincoln Riley. So that is something to keep an eye on with signing day. We don't expect him to sign, like he said, and we'll go from there. But you guys can get Michigan football Big Ten Championship, college football playoff, and Orange Bowl gear. Most of the stuff sold out, right? Chatsports.com/champs. Most of it's back in stock, and they have released new designs for the playoff, for the Rose Bowl matchup. They even got some plaques you can buy if you want to, buy the memorabilia collector in your family or in your life. Some memorabilia for this historic Michigan football season. Use the link down in the comments, down in the description, chatsports.com/champs. We'll keep that link live the rest of the 2021 Michigan football season until they win the national championship or bust. So Big Ten championship gear, chatsports.com/champs. All right, coming up later in the show, there are two fairly big-time transfer possibilities that have visited Michigan and are in the transfer portal, visited Michigan. One big-time starter, one semi-starter for a couple Power 5 teams I'm going to talk to you about later in the show, but we're going to talk a little more recruiting first. But Michigan is getting involved finally in the transfer portal, and I think you're going to be excited to see what we have to talk about here in a second. But I want to know from you guys, before we jump into the recruiting stuff, my signing day predictions, how excited are you for the future of Michigan football? Look, I think it's as excited as anybody could be for this program since maybe the start of the 2016 season. But I think it's actually more exciting since then. Maybe the 9-0 start in 2016. So I'm giving this like a 9.9999999 repeating is mine. Go to the comments. Let me know scale of 1 to 10. And if you're less than 9.99, let me know what you're looking for out of this team to get you more excited, because with them bringing back as many as 17 or 18 starters out of the starting 22 next year, I don't think Michigan should be expecting anything less than a top 5 start in the 2022 preseason polls. All right, let's get into it. It is my signing day predictions. There's about 10 or so players that you want to keep an eye on for Michigan's recruiting class tomorrow, but I have identified the 5 that I think are better than likely. I would say all these guys I would say are 60-75% at least likely to announce that they're signing with Michigan tomorrow that are currently not part of this class. Let's go through all 5 of these guys right now. First up, Derrick Moore. You've heard about him. Oklahoma commitments, decommitted after their head coach took the USC job, and in the last week has visited Ole Miss and Michigan. This past weekend he was on campus. I expect him to be a member of the Michigan class. He's going to decide, it sounds like, between Michigan and Ole Miss, the number 79 player in the country. Out of the Baltimore area has got a lot of former Michigan teammates, Michigan players that were former high school teammates like Blake Corum. How about Keon Sabb? Michigan missed out on his signing, his commitment over the summer. He's at IMG Academy. Clemson, he's been committed to Clemson since July, and he decommitted in the past couple weeks. Their D coordinator, part of the reason he wanted to go to Clemson, is now the head coach at Oklahoma. And him, as well as 2 of his teammates, who were both top 100 recruits, I think it was 3 top 100 recruits on the defensive side of the ball from IMG, have decommitted from Clemson in the past 2 weeks or so. So I think it's a big get for Michigan. Definitely a playmaker that they need. IMG Academy for the last 2 seasons, but he is from New Jersey. We talked to this guy. We talked with you about this player yesterday. Darrius Clemons from the state of Oregon. He is probably going to be, those are actually flip-flop. Keon Sabb is a safety, Darrius Clemons wide receiver. But Clemons going to decide between Michigan, Oregon, Penn State, and Auburn tomorrow. Seems to me like it's going to come down to Michigan and Auburn. I do like Michigan's chances coming off that visit yesterday. Apparently he gave all indicators that Michigan will be his choice when he announces tomorrow on signing day. Look, I think, folks, this could be all in. If you get these top 5 players, 4 of the 5 of them are, top 250-ish level recruits, 4 stars, you could be looking at a class, depending on what happens elsewhere, they could jump up into the top 6 or the top 7 in all the recruiting rankings. The one we kind of keep an eye on is the 24/7 Sports Composite, which aggregates the rankings of ESPN, Rivals, and then 24/7 Sports themselves. So I'm excited to see what happens. You land these 5 guys here, and maybe have a surprise or two, and of course you don't lose anybody. This could be a top 6, maybe a top 7 class going into an offseason that's going to be unlike any other we've seen in modern college football. Michigan in the college football playoff in 17 days from now, and then of course you win that national championship in a offseason where you have just got so much upside and positivity coming back to this program. Last 2 guys, and you see the production team fast as the business. They already got that graphic change. Sabb, the safety, Clemons, the wide receiver. Deone Walker out of Cass Tech, going to decide between Michigan and Kentucky. I think just all things being considered, the guy who's recruiting him in Kentucky now works for Michigan, Steve Klingscale. So I think he'll end up sticking home, the defensive lineman out of Cass Tech. And then Amorion Walker out of Louisiana, currently committed to Notre Dame. Their head coach, Brian Kelly, went to LSU. And of course, he is now, not apparently wanting to go to LSU, committed to Notre Dame. He's going to make a decision on signing day. I'm seeing that he is going to flip, is what I think, going to flip to Michigan tomorrow. So those are the 5 guys I think could really be a part of this class. There's some others to keep an eye on. We'll have a video out first thing in the morning. We'll break down all the guys who have committed or are planning to sign tomorrow, and then some players to keep an eye on. Maybe a little 5-star here and there, a 5-star offensive lineman, maybe get a 5-star cornerback. Just keep an eye on some guys. So make sure you stick with us all day tomorrow. All right, let's talk about some potential transfers. Arizona State running back Diamante Trayanum. Trayanum, do we say? Let's just call him Diamante T. Visited Michigan over the weekend, and it looks like the tea leaves are out there that he is going to be a player to transfer to Michigan after the semester, be part of the program coming up this spring. He'll be part of the program for spring ball. Take a look at his stats. He's finishing up his second year at Arizona State. Wasn't really there with a full-time starter. Played in, I think it was like 14, 15 games over 2 seasons, majority of those snaps and carries this past season. 127 yards, 127 carries, about 700 yards, 5.5 yards per carry, and 10 touchdowns. So be interested to see if he does end up at Michigan. What apparently Michigan has sold him on is, look, we find your style of running very similar to Hassan Haskins, and with the way things are shaking out next year, Blake Corum could be the full-time back next year, but he's been injury-prone, right? Donovan Edwards, is he a full-time running back, or is Michigan going to carve out a role where he is wide receiver, running back, jack of all trades? And so if that's the case, if neither one of those guys are a 20, 25 carry a guy game, you could definitely use a workhorse style running back. I've heard some rumors. I haven't really checked out a ton of tape of his that he is prone to fumbling. So we'll see if Michigan can solve those fumbling issues if he does end up transferring to Michigan. But this is the big one, right? This is the one I'm excited about. Michigan will lose 2 offensive linemen after the season, and they'll be looking for a center. There's really no one who stepped up as a backup center, and Olusegun Oluwatimi, a.k.a. Victor, he goes by Victor. I'm just going to call him Victor from now on so I don't hack his name once again. Visited Michigan in the transfer portal. He has quite a story because he is a 2018 recruit, so he's finishing up his 4th year in college, but was a walk-on to Virginia after the 2018 season. His older brother, they're from the Baltimore area. His older brother played at Maryland. He was a finalist for the Remington Award this season, one of the top 3 centers in all of college football. Started all 12 games this year, started 32 straight games going back to the 4th, 5th game of the 2019 season. And he visited Michigan, and for what we're hearing over the last 48 hours or so, Michigan expects him to transfer in and be an instant starter on the line next season. So you get a award finalist for a major college football award, the best center in college football, interested in coming and visit, put on a good impression. Hey, look at the offensive line we put on this year. Hey, John Madden said this was the best offensive lineman performance of the entire offensive line that he's seen in all of his years of football. That's a pretty good selling point to a guy who was a Remington Award finalist in 2021. So keep an eye out for those guys. I don't expect either one of those happen tomorrow on signing day, but potentially in the week or so afterwards, we may hear more news about them officially giving their commitment to Michigan and signing a letter of intent as a transfer. Both will have, I said, Victor, 2 years eligibility. The running back from Arizona State will actually have 3 years of eligibility, so excited to see what happens there. Tomorrow, Wednesday, signing day, December 15th, 2:45 p.m. Eastern. Mark your calendars, subscribe, join the live show, and get in the chat. Ask me anything you want about Michigan football. Can't wait. We'll have a video out tomorrow, a.m., about 8:30 Eastern, kind of walking you through all of the Michigan football signing day news and rumors. So see you guys tomorrow. Go Blue.